Buying a home in Canada is harder today than at any other point in the country's history. With interest rates high and home prices rising even faster, the Canadian dream of owning a home seems to be beyond the reach of millions of young people in the country, with as many as half of young Canadian adults predicting that they will never be able to afford a home. So how exactly did Canada get to this dangerous point? It comes down to the economic principles of demand and supply. The bottom line is, there aren't enough homes being built for the country's population, which means that despite being an incredibly large country, with a landmass that's second only to Russia, Canada is facing a home shortage of epic proportions. According to a parliamentary report, Canada needs to construct 3.1 million new homes by 2030, just to bridge the existing housing gap. As with any economic crisis, the shortage is driving up the prices of homes that are available on the market, to a point where home prices are now just absurd.
This is what $1 million gets you in Toronto and in the Greater Vancouver area. It doesn't get you as much in Canada's most expensive cities.
And because home prices are high while interest rates are also high, it means Canadians are now spending more of their household incomes than ever before to purchase homes that they probably cannot afford.
In Toronto, for an average income household, it now costs around 85% of your paycheck to pay for an average priced home. In Vancouver, it's your entire paycheck. And in most other major cities, still pretty high, somewhere around 40 to 50%.
The bad news for Canada is that with its population growing at almost record pace thanks to its immigration programs, the demand for homes will only get higher as millions of people coming into the country will need places to live. All of this could result in an even bigger shortage, leaving the world's 9th largest economy on the brink of mass homelessness. The housing crisis is by far the biggest political and social problem in Canada today, and after years of seeming without a clear plan, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is finally trying to fix it.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau unveiling the Liberal government's plan to solve Canada's housing crisis today. A plan Trudeau says will bring down construction costs, make it easier for cities to build homes at a faster pace, transform how homes are built, and grow the workforce needed to build those homes.
Trudeau's plan comes down to three things: making it easier to build homes, making it easier to buy homes, and making it somewhat easier to repay mortgages for homes. So let's break it down. The first part of this plan focuses on making it easier to build homes to increase the supply on the market.
If we can increase housing supply, we can bring down prices.
For starters, the government is putting up $15 billion into the Apartment Construction Loan Program, which provides builders and developers with low-cost loans to build apartments across the country. The program was launched in 2017 and has already supported the development of 48,000 new apartments. But with the new $15 billion capital injection into the program, the government projects it could support the development of another 132 new apartments by 2032. But the first step to building new homes is actually getting the land to build the homes on, which is why the government is also leasing underused public lands to developers at a low cost. The idea here is that developers can lease public lands at reduced cost to construct affordable housing, which will then increase the number of homes available for Canadians. Some of the sites that could potentially be converted and used for new homes include abandoned industrial parks and government buildings that are no longer in use. The next piece of the puzzle to solving housing supply and making it easier to build homes is that the government is also looking to support homeowners who want to develop and rent out their basements for extra rental income. The Canada Secondary Suite Loan Program will provide homeowners with up to $40,000 in low-interest loans to develop and rent out basements in their homes, all with the aim of increasing the number of options available on the market. Now, the final piece to solving the supply problem is making sure that there are enough people to actually build these homes. Because a major reason Canada faces this massive shortage of housing is because there aren't enough skilled trades workers to build homes. Now, that last statement isn't entirely true, because in reality, there are immigrants in Canada who are skilled trades workers and are perfectly able to function in Canada's construction industry. But the problem is, Canada has complex processes to recognize the credentials of foreign workers, which literally prevents thousands of these migrants from being able to contribute to the construction industry. So the government is finally removing the barriers in place and setting up new processes to make it easier for skilled trades workers to join Canada's labour force without the previous long delays that come with vetting and confirming their credentials. Assuming the first part of Trudeau's plan works and it truly becomes easier to build homes, the second part is focused on making it easier to buy these homes. And this part of the plan is split into three parts. First, Canada is making it easier for rent payments to count towards credit scores, ensuring that millions of people who pay their rent on time can have that reflected in their credit scores. Now, this is important because higher credit scores increase the likelihood of being approved for a mortgage to buy a home. Second, getting approved for a mortgage is one thing, but having the money to make a down payment is another. And that's something the government is trying to fix as well, by allowing people to make tax-free withdrawals from their retirement savings plans to buy their first homes. Now, to be clear, this option previously existed, but the government is increasing the limits on withdrawals from $35,000 to $60,000. And third, the government is also trying to make it easier to buy a home by banning foreigners and foreign companies from buying residential property in Canada. In theory, this would take out some of the competition on the market and should free up more homes for Canadians and Canadian residents. Now, of course, this ban was first put in place in 2022, but has now been extended until 2027. The third part of Justin Trudeau's plan is to make it somewhat easier to repay mortgages. And to do this, Canada is extending mortgage amortization timelines, which is the length of time for homeowners to pay off mortgages on their first homes. For first-time buyers purchasing newly constructed homes, the time to repay mortgages will now be increased from 25 to 30 years. In theory, extending mortgage timelines will not necessarily make homes more affordable, but at least it would allow homeowners more time to pay off their expensive mortgages. Now, all of these plans and policies are aimed at fixing Canada's housing crisis and putting the dream of owning a home back within reach for millions of Canadians. And remember how the parliamentary report suggested that Canada needs 3.1 million new homes to bridge the shortage? Well, Trudeau's ambitious plan is aiming to deliver 3.9 million new homes, which would be an extra 800,000 homes. It's an ambitious plan and it's an ambitious target. But the thing is, there's no guarantee it will work, especially as some think it's all coming a little too late.
It's one thing after 8.5 years to say, oh, I finally get it, after saying that it was not federal responsibility. Now I'm going to start doing something about housing. There are actually some interesting measures in there, but it's not going to do anything between now and the next election.
If it does work, it will take some time. But with Canada already on the edge, and a generation of millions of young Canadians feeling like their dreams of owning a home is slipping out of reach, everyone is watching to see how this plan will start to unfold in its early days. And with elections happening next year, Justin Trudeau's political future may well come down to this. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, then please give the video a thumbs up, as that really helps the channel, and don't forget to subscribe as well. And before you go, make sure you check out this playlist of all the cool geography videos I've made on the channel. See you in the next one.